Yo ho ho! What's going on, guys? This is Grim Reaper back with another One Punch Man review. Today we're discussing chapter 112, and it was, bro, this shit was fucking everything. You already know what the Sperm and the Atomic fan bases were doing. We were going straight at it the entire fucking chapter. We also had a lot of fucking discussions, arguments, heated that shit in Discord, so make sure you check that shit out. Make sure you hop into our Patreon. You know, right now we're having I'm having a lot of shit going on with work and different things like that, and I need to be able to focus on this, on you guys in the community a lot more. So help us out, send your donations out so I can try to split my focus a lot more. Now, let's get back into the fucking greatness. So this chapter started off, as we already know, with the Atomic versus the Black Sperm fight, and we got into some more greatness towards the center of it. We'll get there in a second. So let's start off with the first point. So the biggest question that the first few pages really brought up to me was, is Atomic a tank, or is Black Sperm lacking in offensive capabilities? Now, we all know that all these dragons are different, and they're dragons for different reasons. Phoenix Man had the ability to resurrect and become stronger with every single time, with every single resurrection. Rover has indomitable offensive capabilities, and he may be the most durable out of all the dragons we've seen so far. Different kinds of traits that they all have, as we've seen amongst the classes. So when we get close to the comparison of Melzigard and Black Sperm, for example, Melzigard is pretty offensive, but I never really considered Atomic Samurai to be like a huge tank, like Darkshine, for example. You know, we've seen a bunch of Robo fall on Darkshine, we've seen monsters bounce off of him. I've seen Darkshine run and monsters explode by him running through them. So it's a different trait that Atomic has in comparison to other heroes. It should be the same case for Black Sperm. Now, this doesn't degrade Black Sperm at all whatsoever, and I'm still asking the question, and we're still going to see in consecutive chapters, what's the actual situation here? If Black Sperm really is lacking offensively, or if Atomic's really just a tank. Now, I'm not saying that we need to see Black Sperm blow up on an entire fucking half of a city like we've seen Rover have to say that he's offensively potent. You know, dragons don't have to have the same exact potency like that. Even Phoenix Man himself, he showed the ability to stop things that are as catastrophic as that, but he wasn't necessarily throwing attacks that were that crazy to that extent. So to see Black Sperm throwing punches, you know, throwing little gatlings and shit like that out there, you know, huge punches in his big ass form, and then knocking Atomic, you know, down the hallway or whatever, smacking his ass, getting him bleeding shit, getting blood from him, was impressive to see. But I was expecting more, and like I said before, it's not like the fight's over right now, as we're going to discuss in a little bit. The scales of the fight have tipped in more towards the balance side, but a little bit more towards the Atomic side right now with his recent acquisition. So I'm interested to see how Black Sperm reacts to this. A lot of times that whenever we're looking at a character, it's not just what they show initially, it's how they deal with adversity that, like, you know, really determines what their character outlook's going to be. So Black Sperm's in a situation to where, like, now he can be assaulted. Now he can be hit. So he's going to have to beat and kill Atomic Samurai before any of that crazy shit can happen. I'm interested to see if he can do it. The question still stands. Is Atomic just really a tank, or is Black Sperm, like, not showing all of his offensive capabilities? That's to be seen. As I mentioned recently, we got a new power from Atomic Samurai. Now, this is kind of like foreshadowed. Whenever we got the initial fight of the disciples, Yan, Okamatachi, and Bushido, they were facing Devil Longhair, and they were encountering a pretty tough situation. This guy's hair could get through everywhere as fast, as tough, and it could actually kill them. It could get through their armor and stuff. So Yan had to think back to his master's teachings to draw the strength that he needed to beat this tough-ass demon. And, with the words of Atomic Samurai, get stronger, cut faster, do things more so than you're doing now. And to us, it seemed like more like a basic, you know, savage type ideology that's just like, it's just meatheadish, but it worked in both instances, both with Yan and in this situation here. So what we got was called the focused Atomic Slash. Atomic Samurai was in a perilous situation, about to get jumped by all those Black Sperms. He's getting, you know, tagged up. Black Sperm was in there and shit, and then he cut a floor on the ground. Pretty crazily too. It wasn't like super unprecedented, it wasn't unexpected, but like out of nowhere, he just cut a square in the ground, and it was like fucking like 14, 15 floors deep, and he was falling downward. The Black Sperms jumped down into the hole to come after him, you know, all cocky like, and then he releases it, the focused Atomic Slash. The way that he described it was like more slashes at faster speeds. on a concentrated point to increase the penetration density. I guess that's the manga dex translation that he used. So he's just cutting faster and a lot more in a certain space and area. Like I said before, it's kind of like a meatheadish, like, brute explanation of it, but it works perfectly and it makes sense, just try harder. So the reason why it works, though, is because of what Atomic Samurai mentioned in particular. Apparently, the Focus Atomic Slash was made for Melzigard in particular. If you guys remember Melzigard, he's the alien, one of Boros' top champion commanders. He had the ability to, like, basically be annihilated in all different kinds of forms, and he would just regenerate like nothing. It was really like that. Atomic Samurai had a field day on him, and he couldn't really find the marbles that were the base of his power. You pop a marble, he loses one of the heads. You pop all of them, he dies. That isn't the case for Black Sperm. Their powers and capabilities do seem to be extremely similar. Just like Melzigard, Black Sperm can split, but he can split to an umpteenth crazily degree. And it doesn't seem like any of the clones get weaker whenever he does it. Same case for Melzigard. So, with those similarities, it makes sense that Atomic Samurai would have something in particular that could match Black Sperm. This is really, really, really good, like, storytelling. A lot of times niggas come up with shit out of nowhere, like, oh, I had a contingency plan that this was going to happen somehow. And characters don't really know about what the fuck's going to happen. So it's kind of an ass whooping. This isn't. And we have a past situation that literally correlates with the exact situation now. So it makes sense that Black Sperm will be matched up right here. I don't know why Giro exactly, like, matched up Black Sperm with Atomic Samurai. It's clear that there's supposed to be a mismatch advantage, and we saw that in the previous chapter in 110 and 111 or whatever. But this is surprising. It's not expected. I did not expect this at all whatsoever, that he would have something in particular for Melzigard. But this shows us more about Atomic Samurai. He's intuitive. He's intelligent. Whenever we saw him after the Haragiri attack, he was the one that took the initiative to go out fighting for monsters, looking for monsters, doing his thing. So we know he's a diligent hero. So I guess that diligency helped him cure this technique to bring down monsters like this. It's a weird, incredibly powerful technique. I know we're going to be speculating on it crazily throughout, like, the entire week. Like, what can he annihilate? What can he annihilate? I already heard an extreme, like, I don't believe in this. It's crazy as fucking. That's super incredulous. But somebody told me that, like, Atomic can now fuck up, like, Boros or something like that. If he gets a chance to, that doesn't make sense. No, Boros will just kill him. So, it's super interesting to see this new Focus Atomic Slash, and I'm wondering how effective it can be. On to the Black Sperm part, because he mentioned something that is going to correlate with the Atomic Slash and can correlate with the character in general. So, the theory we had in 111, or I think it was 110. So, Atomic Samurai shows up out of nowhere when Black Sperm's chasing Tadia, the fucking Tri-Star and shit, right? And he throws out one of the air slashes at him, and Black Sperm gets the little, like, aware, like, surprise thing now, like, oh, his senses are going off, and he dodges the Atomic Slash. Super peculiar. Brought it up in the review, brought it up in the live reaction, brought it up in the previous podcast. I thought that, like, why are you dodging if in the next chapter you can take all these kinds of hits? So I was like, okay, there must be something to that. You have to be aware that somebody's coming to you for you to split. And it turned out to be the exact case. They had to point out and call out all these fuck-ass niggas that told me I was wrong, and it's not going to be the case. Sasuke, Ronin, Kishin, all these other boys that were doubting it. Not necessarily because they just thought it was wrong, but we didn't know. We just didn't know what was going on. But that was the most peculiar situation to me, and I'm glad that that was, like, what Murata actually did. That was him foreshadowing, or one foreshadowing that from the beginning. So I think it's safe to say that this is, like, the one particular aspect of Black Sperm that is how you kill him. There's no, like, invincible monsters or even invincible heroes, as far as we know, besides Zombieman, quote unquote, for now. So to have that placed in there like that, I think that's going to be how you exploit Black Sperm, by hitting him before he can split, and you got to be fast enough to do it. So it puts into perspective what kind of hero should be able to fight Black Sperm and be effective against it. Maybe Giro wasn't right. If really the speed is the reason why you can beat Black Sperm, then this is, like, possibly the worst possible matchup for him. But we'll see how that turns out. The Focus Atomic Slash not only, like, cuts faster, but it annihilates, it seems like, the thing that it hits. As Black Sperm just completely got just annihilated it. He even mentioned himself, the quote said exactly, I got annihilated before splitting. So this confirms the statement that we mentioned, the theory that I mentioned earlier before, like I said. So he also mentioned something about hiding his true form. Now, We don't know exactly what that means because in the same exact panel, he also mentioned that all black sperms are him, like it's his true self. So it's kind of like, I guess, losing an arm. But as we mentioned before with the alien variant Melzigard, he can form all his parts or anything into anything else. We actually saw a black sperm in a previous chapter turn his head and most of his body into a huge ass fist to punch. So he can morph into different shapes and different objects, presumably as well, similar to Melzigard. But he's only done in like humanoid body parts as of yet. Recently, at the end of the chapter, when he punched Atomic Samurai, it was a big blob with legs and like an arm. So it's not unprecedented to see that like a black sperm has like portions of him that he can shed or have annihilated without killing the actual core. Now, it's not going to work the same as Melzigard, which is why he's a lot stronger than Melzigard. He doesn't have marbles that are the targets of his power source. But we now know how to annihilate him. It just, there's obviously something else coming. Like, he mentioned his true self. So this means that, like, either he has a core, like I've been saying, or there's some other variant going on here. But this doesn't seem like it's going to be the end of Black Sperm. As we mentioned at the end of the chapter, the advantage did seem to turn a little bit more towards Atomic Samurai. He now has acquired a technique that can indeed kill and effectively damage Black Sperm, which we didn't have last chapter, which is why Black Sperm had the overwhelming advantage. Surprisingly, crazily scary, overwhelming advantage. And he actually dropped the ceiling on him, and he seemed pretty confident. So Atomic Samurai, even though he's been taking a fucking beating, man, like, he's getting tankish. He's getting that tankish straight right there, if it's actually true. So, I think we're about, 60-40, maybe 55-45, whatever, towards the Atomic Samurai side. It just depends on what the turnout is going to be. You already know how these fights turn out a lot of times where the hero wins. Tall Emperor was on his fucking neck, on his back. Brave Giant was done and he still came out on top. So I'm not expecting anything like catastrophic to happen, but I'm here for it for that. Oh boy, I'm here for it, bro. I just don't want my nigga to turn out like a Gino, bro. I'm for that Gino shit. Alright, so let's keep it popping. The next craziness we got, oh boy, Homeless, bruh. Yo, how long have we been fucking waiting for a Homeless Emperor? We didn't get the same amount of hype from the community of the webcomic readers as we have for Black Sperm, which I gotta say, like, I'm really starting to dislike webcomic readers in general. This is getting really annoying how they like try to push these like narratives and like viewpoints that haven't been shown in the manga. So I'll let you know right now, if that continues to happen, I'm just gonna start blocking people and kicking people from the Discord in particular. If that continues to happen, I'm gonna start having conversations with you guys. This is getting really annoying. I'm not here to like hear about your guys' favorite characters, favorite moments, or like your favorite things or what you saw in the webcomic. I'm here to talk about the manga. I'm here to read the manga and what the manga has shown me and told me. So once again, I'll say, if the webcomic, like, spoiling the webcomic stuff continues to, like, happen, I'm just going to start removing people from the community in general, because it's not acceptable and it's not cool. That being said, though, Homeless is that fucking nigga, bro. What I'm talking about, letting off cannons, beams, bombs, all that shit like nothing, bro. Like, popping up little orbs and shit, reminded me of the whole Naruto references and of Vaccine Man in particular. Vaccine Man, bro, that was that nigga. Now, this is going to sound a little bit blasphemous, but so from the presentation that we got in the previous chapters, like when we first saw the executives and Black Sperm's outburst at first, he seems to be like the leader of the execs aside from Orochi himself, maybe Giro. He seems to be like one of the, maybe not the strongest, but one of the leaders or most outspoken ones. So Homeless, I wouldn't expect him to be the leader, but he's just powerful. Now, when I say this, like I said, it's going to sound crazy, but is Vaccine Man more destructive than Homeless Emperor? Vaccine Man not only has his orb, but he can grow in size too, so that's power. Homeless Emperor has only been like moving these psychic orbs around that can also block and protect him. So I guess they can stay consistent. He can summon them whenever. Because we've seen pictures without them, and then they're in the picture frame all of a sudden in the next panel. So he can form them like nothing. And they're also destructive, and they can blow up, and they can follow you around, do all that kinds of shit. So he's pretty OP with the control. But Vaccine Man was doing similar things, and his orbs were much more destructive. They were taking out large portions of the city with single blasts, and he was throwing multiples of them. So from what the short instance that we got of Vaccine Man, it does seem like Homeless Emperor can bring them out a lot quicker and a lot more efficiently, but his DC still isn't there in comparison to Vaccine Man, which I'm expecting to see a lot more of this shit. I'm expecting to see Homeless like pop that shit up, upgraded. That being said, boy, yo, Zombieman was in there, bro. All right. You expect a guy like Homeless, an executive of Dragon, to be busting on Zombieman. If Pureblood can do it, if Pureblood beat Zombieman 200 times, how many times is Homeless gonna beat Zombieman? But not only does his regen seem faster for some instance, like it seems like panel by panel, his regen is getting faster, he's being more capable and shit. But he's just holding in there, like without anything. He's just like standing right back up like it's nothing. I'm not sure if like that's what happened with Pureblood, because I think it was like in 30 minutes that he took 200 deaths. So his regen speed may have not increased. He just was doing the same thing back then. We just got it off screen. But Zombieman's in here, bro. And if this type of destruction and constant like attacks and defeat are enough to fuck up Zombieman, and he comes back like that, there's not really that many other niggas that can deal with shit like this. There's really not. I'm really starting to question how strong Zombieman is, and if he really isn't just the strongest hero. I'm not under any assumption that you can't like get past some of these things. Now, we haven't seen the instances where like he gets annihilated, or like, you know, the instance where we see those crazy attacks. You know, what if you throw him inside of an Emperor Nova? You know, what if you do a focus atomic slash on him? Shit like that. Like, what would really happen to him? We don't know, but assumingly he just regenerates. So Zombieman's really fucking incredible right now. I don't want to give him character of the chapter, but he's definitely in competition for it. Homeless was super impressive with the attacks. Black Sperm was pretty cool, but he was probably out of the four guys, he was probably the least, because he got countered so fast, or because Atomic Samurai had that great feat on him. So it's really between Atomic Samurai's focus atomic slash and Zombieman's crazy regen of getting back up. And I'm kind of leaning towards Zombieman. The atomic slash really hyped me up, and like it got me super into the fight, because now we have a way to beat Black Sperm. But like Zombieman, like, yo, Zombieman's here, bro. Like, that's a tank. Like, he's a tank. Like, I fuck with that shit heavy as hell. I'm excited to see what happens next chapter. There's so much more to develop, and I'm excited to see what other things Homeless Emperor could do. His design is really cool, and it brought up the question. We've seen Dos S. Giro is possibly a puppet. Like, she may have an actual human form, and what was in the thing is just a puppet. Even though we haven't seen that confirmed yet. Something was being pulled out of it. Is Homeless Emperor an actual humanoid? Like an actual human? Like Goro? Is this the second human that we have in the Monster Association? I don't know. He may be a regular human, just with having several powers and abilities, attributes, whatever it may be. It's weird though. It's weird, and I'm wondering why he's Emperor, Homeless Emperor. I don't know what the namesake has to do with anything, but Black Sperm's namesake hasn't really like been officially like affiliated with anything besides like Sperm and splitting and shit. So let's see how that turns out. Amazing chapter, super good rating. This shit was everything. I'm excited for the next one. You already know what it is. I'll be to the Discord so you can chat with us about the chapters and the upcoming discussions. Make sure you check out our Patreon page so you can help support the channel, help support the podcast and everything that we do. And we'll see you boys next time, man. Yo ho ho!